Hey guys, welcome back to this third episode in the Android development tutorial series. So in the last two videos we didn't code, we're just talking about Android, how to set up Android Studio and the basics of Android. So in this video we'll start coding. So what we'll do in this video is I have two projects made, alright, and I've removed the UI section of it. So the Java section remains but the UI section is removed. So in this video, as we'll learn how to develop UI for Android and we'll make two projects. Alright. So to get started, there's a GitHub repository. So I'll put these links in the description notes below. Go to this link and then click on this clone or download button and click on download zip. If you don't know about GitHub, don't worry, it is just a place where you can host your code. So we'll dive deeper into GitHub later on, but for now just know that you can put your code and anyone can see them. Alright, so once you click on download zip, it'll prompt for you to download it. Alright, it's done. Open it and extract the folder. Okay, so alright, replace. Alright, cool. So once you've extracted it, open your Android Studio. Okay, this is the screen you're gonna get. Once you go to open an existing Android Studio project. Okay, you're not gonna start a new project because I've already started the project. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna import the project and you're gonna work on it. So you have to click on this, open an existing Android Studio project. So let's click on it. Alright, and navigate desktop, Android developer, this thing, UI dev starter code, and open the app 1 starter code project first. Okay, let's go to app 2 second. So in the app 1 we'll develop very basic UI, see how the UI is done in Android, talk about different properties, and the second we'll build a complex UI with weights and all that. Right, so when you import this, you'll probably get this error loading project cannot load two modules. So if you get this error, just click on details and then click on remove selected. Alright, it's not a big issue, it's because of this GitHub thing that this is happening. Okay, so this is your project. Okay, so what you gotta do is click on projects in this left corner. Alright, double click on app, click on resources, open layout, you'll see an activity main.xml. Open that. Okay, and if you click on Java and the first folder and click on main activity, if you see in the main activity this, wait, let me zoom in. So one second. Yeah, I hope this is clear for everyone. Alright, so this is the code that I've written already. Alright, so when we finish the UI, this Java file is already connected to the UI. So just don't worry about how this connection is happening as of now. I'll explain that in the next video. For this video, we'll just learn how to make UI. Alright, so let's go to activity main.xml. Alright, so anything you see in your phone, all the small parts is called a view. Okay, so every thing in activity is made up of views. Okay, what is a view? View is just a rectangular box that we see. Okay, view is basically just a rectangular box. If you know HTML and CSS, you know that every tag, suppose you have a paragraph tag, it forms a rectangle, right? So that's basically what view is. So if I forgot to start Visor, so just hold on for a second. Let me just put Visor and start, and then we'll get continuing. All right, view. All right, cool. So Visor is a software which I'm using, which connects my phone and laptop so that I can, as I use my phone, you guys can see it here. Okay, cool. So it is always this bad for a couple of seconds and then it forms up. Okay, so let it load. So let's come back to Android Studio. So if you see this thing called linear layout. What is a linear layout? So as I said, every activity is made up of views, right? So if you take a HTML web page, inside your body tag, you have different tags. So first you may have a navigation section, so you have a nav tag, then you have some paragraphs, you have some links. It is the same with views. Suppose let's say, all right, let's go to this minimal app. All right, so this floating action bar, this button is a view. Okay, this thing is a view. Actually, in this thing, this text is a view and this image is a view. Right? This thing is called a toolbar. This is a view. So the whole app is made up of small views which we put together in a concise fashion. Okay, so if you come back to the activity main XML, you will see this thing called linear layout. What is a layout? So we have the views, but we need to order it in some way, right? So that's where layouts come in. There are different types of layouts. So the first thing we're going to see is linear layout. What this linear layout does is it orders the views either horizontally or vertically. So see, if you go to preview, you can see here, let me zoom in, right? So if you see here, you can see the Android orientation is vertical. So this means as I keep adding views, it'll keep stacking one on bottom of other, right? So just watch this, all right? If you don't understand this, don't worry, all right? I'll explain all this. So if you see in this part, you can see, hey, this is first is present, right? So now if I add this, if I copy this and paste it below again, so you'll see that this second view came in below the first view. So this is what linear layout does. So since you have vertical, anything you keep adding will keep stacking one below other, right? So suppose we copy this and have another one, you will see it comes below. Okay, now what happens if I change this to horizontal? You'll see it's all aligned horizontally. Okay, so this is what linear layout does. Linear layout arranges all the views either vertically or horizontally. Okay, so for now we'll have vertical. Okay, so the first we're gonna learn about is text view. So what is a text view? So text view is just a view where you can have a text, where you can display text. Okay, so how do we code a text view? You just open this, you just put this less than symbol and type in text view where T is capital and V is capital. Okay, click OK. So you will see two parameters, Android layout width and Android layout height. What are these? So for every view, you must have these at least these two parameters. Okay, so this basically says how wide your view should be and how tall your view should be. Okay, so for now we'll put it as wrap content. So wrap content basically means just wrap content basically says that however long my text is, just align the borders as such. So suppose um, we have this other property, Android colon text. So whatever we put in here, whatever we put inside this double quotes will be displayed in the view. So let's put, hey, it's me. All right. So if you see in this preview pane, you see the borders are just matching it, right? So this is what wrap content does. It just wraps the content. Suppose you expand this. Hey, it's me, Billy. See, it just expanded, right? The borders expanded as the text expanded. So this is what wrap content does. If you put the width to match parent, all right, you can see the border is entirety, the whole width of the app. Okay, but when you run this, it look the same, but there are some differences that we'll talk about later on. All right, so right now we have one text view. Hey, it's me, Billy. Okay, so every view should have at least these two parameters, layout width and layout height. Okay, and the third very important parameter is ID. Okay, so if you put Android colon ID, okay, this thing is very important. This parameter is as important as width and height. So what does this parameter do? So the thing is, to connect our XML and Java, we need to reference these views so that we can do the function on them. Okay, so to reference this, we should have an ID. It is basically identification, like how you go into college and you have your own ID card, right? So you have your own ID number, right? So suppose in my college I have minus A1218. There is this huge thing. So everyone has a unique ID. So that's exactly this thing. So you don't have to put a number in here. You put a human readable string and Android will convert it into a number on its own. Okay. So for an ID, you put at plus ID slash. So this at plus ID should be at the beginning of every ID. Okay, this just says that this is a new ID, add it to the R class. We'll talk about R class later on. So let's say text view. Okay, so ID is add plus ID slash text view. Okay, so if you come here and if you put Android, you can see all the properties of view. Okay, there are too many properties, so we'll keep learning as we need them. Okay, actually, if you even read those, you can understand. See, suppose we have a background. So background just puts a background on the view. Okay, so we'll keep learning them. Okay, so for now we have what we have an ID, we have a width, we have a height, and the text. Don't worry if this is highlighted in yellow showing a warning. We'll see how to fix that later. Okay, so the second thing we're gonna learn is a button. So as you know, you guys should know what buttons are, right? So it is just something where you can click on. So you have a button. So again, see, as immediately once you select button, it is prompting you to set a width and height. Width and height is very important. So we'll again have wrap content, wrap content. So this is a button. There's no text in here. If you see here, there's no text in here. So let's add a text. Android text is click me. All right. Oh, sorry. XJ developers. All right, cool. So we have click me. Okay. So we need ID for this button too. So let's click on ID, add plus ID slash button. All right. So this is how every UI is coded. Okay, so you have one layout in the top and you have views inside it. Okay, you can even have a layout, you have some views, and you can again have a linear layout. We'll do that in the next app. So for now you just know what is the linear layout. Linear layout just stacks this one below other. All right, so suppose we add one more button here. Okay, it'll stack this below this. Okay, so that is when the orientation is vertical. So when you have a linear layout, make sure you have the orientation is vertical. Okay, by default, if you don't add it, the orientation is horizontal. Okay, so we probably won't have a horizontal, right? So whenever you use a linear layout, make sure that the orientation is vertical. Okay, so let's go to the Java file. One more thing, we'll just change this ID to be TV underscore text, and we'll change the button to be button underscore submit. This is required because that is the ID I've given in the Java file, so that only then it will work. Okay, so it is done. Okay, so go back to the Java file and remove these comments. So these three characters and these three characters. Okay, remove these comments. So now our app is ready. I hope you guys understood how to work with apps. Sorry, how to make a basic UI. So let's run the code. To run the code, there is a green triangle here in the top bar. So just click on it. You should have your phone or your device connected. So I have my phone connected. So I'm gonna click on my phone and wait for the Gradle to run. So this Gradle is just a tool. We're writing our apps in XML and Java, right? But there must be some way there must be some way to convert this XML and Java into APK files. So that's what Gradle does. Okay. So just don't worry about now. We'll go on Gradle in depth later. So if you see my app, it shows, hey, it's me, Billy, and click me. So if you click on it, it says, hey, it worked. So if it shows you, hey, it worked, you've done it right. Please make sure your ID is same as what I have. Okay, this text doesn't have to be the same. This text doesn't have to be same. So basically, these three parameters that doesn't have to be the same as mine, but the ID should be the same as what I have. Only then your app will run. Okay, so let's close this. Okay, so I hope right now you understood how to code a very basic UI. So now let's code a calculator UI. Not very complex, but complex enough to understand everything. Okay, so let's again go to open an existing Android Studio project, desktop, dev tutorials, UI starter kit, and this time let's import app2. Okay, so let's wait for it to open. All right, so again you get this error, loading project cannot load two modules. So you have this IML files which does some things, and when you put it in Gradle, there's some problem. All right, so just click on remove selected and and it's done. Okay, there's not much problem with it. All right, so let's again go to app, resources, layout, activity main.xml, and we'll open our Java file also, just to because I've coded the Java already. All right, I've coded the Java already, if you see here. So for now, don't worry. Oh my god, I'm sorry. All right, so for now, don't worry how the Java works. We'll see how the Java works in the next video. For now, we'll just learn how to make the UI. Okay, so to make a calculator, what do we need? We need two views where we can enter numbers, and we need to choose either to add, subtract, multiply, or divide, and we need a button to submit, right? Okay, so if you see, we have this linear layout here. All right, let's go in. Inside this, we'll add one more linear layout. I'll tell you why. Right, for now, just be patient. Okay, so we'll have a linear layout. We'll set the width to be match parent and height to be wrap content. Okay, so inside this, we'll have something called an edit text. So edit text is just like text view, but in this thing you can input values. Okay, so in your WhatsApp app, you have this place where you can type, right? So that is basically edit text. Okay, we'll have edit text width to be wrap content and height will have it match parent. What's gonna happen? All right, we'll okay, and we'll have one more edit text, so we'll just copy this and put it below. Okay, so here we'll make sure this orientation is horizontal. Okay, so we just want two stacked onto each other. So now we'll learn a property called weight. What is weight? So I'll, instead of just telling you, I'll describe it to you. So I am adding a weight of 1 here, and I'm adding a weight of 1 here. So if you see, it is evenly spread out. Okay, if you see in this preview pane, these two edit fields are evenly spread out. So what weight does it? It takes the value. Okay, so suppose this is the container. Okay, this linear layout is a container. So we have two. So both is set to be 1 and 1. So it sees, okay, 1:1. So each of this needs 50%. Okay, so it allocates 50% width, and since this is horizontal, it spreads horizontally. Okay, so this gives it 50% of the width, and the second one takes 50% more of the width. Okay, so this is what weight does. So I hope you've understood what weight is. If you guys don't understand anything, comment below. I'll clarify your doubts in the comment, or if it's really not clear, I'll explain it in the next video also. Okay, so in this linear layout, we'll add a property called margin. What is just we'll add a margin called 8dp. Okay, for now I'll tell you. So what does this margin do? So if you see in this app, let's remove this property. Okay, before you remove this property, you see that it is perfectly, the top and top is perfectly aligned. It is all perfectly aligned, right? So let's see what happens when you, as soon as you add it. Okay, so once you add it, it's all shrunk down. Okay, so when you add this margin property, what it does, it around the view, it gives you some space. Okay, so it just to make it look good. Okay, see, now it looks good, right? So there's just a little bit space. 8 dp here, phones are made of pixels, right? So I'll explain what dp and all this in the next video. So for now, we'll just have it like this. Okay, so let's go down. Okay, so now whatever we put down here will be stacked below this, because only this linear layout is horizontal. This thing we want it to be vertical. Sorry, vertical. All right, so this linear layout is horizontal, but this linear layout is a part of that linear layout, this thing. Okay, so this thing is stacked first, and whatever we add below it will be added below. So okay, so we have this the main problem with this is, in this edit text we can add strings, we can add numbers, everything, but we don't want that. We should only add numbers. Okay, so we have this property called input type. Okay, so in this input type we can say that what type of values are we expecting here. So according to that the Android keyboard will display. So right now we'll have input type to be number. So when we have input type to be number, when you're adding some phone numbers and all, you can only see the numbers in the keyboard, right? So that's what will be displayed. So we had input type number to both of these. Okay, and we need an ID, of course. So we'll have an ID field. So here you don't have to type Android colon and all. Okay, so if you just type ID, Android will help you with it. So click on it. See, it's even showing at plus ID. So at plus ID will have num underscore one. All right, wait, is that what it is? Yeah, sorry, yeah. So we'll have edt underscore num underscore one. So this will have ID at plus ID edt underscore num underscore 2. Okay, make sure you have the ID as same as what I have. Okay, because if you don't have it, the app won't work, it'll crash. Okay, so if you see this, this is called a naming convention. So the thing is, see, I'm learning Android, there are millions of people doing Android, and everyone has their own style. Okay, so when someone goes to work for a company, you'll have your own style, I'll have my own style. And if you're working for Google and if you're making the YouTube app, has so many lines of code. So when each person has their own style, there will be a lot of problems with it. So there's a thing called style guide, which a lot of developer agrees upon. So this edt is just a prefix. Okay, since this is an edit text, we're saying that this is an edit text, and what does the edit text contain? It contains number one. Okay, this is an edit text. What does it contain? Number two. So let me zoom in. Okay. All right. Cool. So below this linear, okay. So now we have this two edit texts. Okay. Now we need a way to choose what to do: addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. So if you're a web developer, you should know this thing called a radio button. So radio button is something, you have a group of buttons. Okay, so if you select one, you can only select that one. If you select some other button, the other button which you selected previously will be unselected. So basically you'll have a group of buttons in which you can only choose one. Okay, so let's add those radio buttons. So here we need something called a radio group. Okay, what is a radio group? So whatever radio buttons you add inside will have that property. Okay, so we'll have the property where you can only choose one. If you just add two radio buttons, both will be choosable. You will be able to select both. So we have to enclose it in a group so that Android knows, okay, this is in it. All these radio buttons are in a radio group. So only one should be selected. So when the user selects another one, the one which is previously selected will not be working. Okay, so let's have a radio group. We'll have the width to be match parent and height to be wrap content. So if you see here, this thing is stacked below this layout. Okay, so as in your journey as an Android developer, you will have really complex layouts like this. Okay, so don't freak out on seeing this. It's just your first day. So you probably won't understand everything in this video itself. So watch this video once. Okay, try to make your own layout. Watch this video again. Try to make your own layout. Watch this video a couple of times until all this sinks in. Okay, just give it some time to sink in. This is just your third video. Once you get your 7 or 8th video, it'll all sink in, and you'll be able to code easily. It might seem tough, but it's not. Okay, so let's have radio buttons here. Radio button, width to be wrap content, height to be wrap content too. Alright, I'm lazy as all engineers are. So I'll just copy 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have 4 radio buttons. If you see, it is stacked like this. We don't want it right way. So we'll add an orientation here, horizontal. Sorry, horizontal. See, it's done. So again, it's all stacked to the left side, right? So as we did here, we want it all to be spread out evenly. So we'll have weight values, layout weight 1, and I'm lazy again, so let me copy this, paste it. You're as in your journey as an Android developer, you will be doing a lot of copy pasting. All right. So we have this button evenly spread together. It looks really beautiful. So again, we'll in the radio group we'll have margin of 8 dp. again to align with this. If this view is this much and this view covers the entire thing, it look odd. Okay, so we're just giving a side space for every view. Okay, so now we have these buttons, but we don't know which button is which. So we'll add a text parameter. So text is first we'll do addition. All right. So second text is subtract. All right. So third text is multiply. Fourth text is divide. All right. And as I said, you don't have to type Android :text. You just put TE, you will see all the option. Okay, as you keep typing. All right. So we have all this. So the last thing we need to do, yeah, you're right, ID. So we'll keep the ID. Let me just check what ID I've given earlier. All right. Just add sub, multiply, divide. All right, cool. So we'll have ID. Sorry, ID. Add. Apparently I forgot the thing. Right. ID sub. All right. So for subtract, we'll have ID multiply and ID divide. So we're really close here. So now we have to edit text where you can input numbers and you can choose what to do: add, subtract, multiply, or divide. So let's come out of this radio group. Next, what we just need two more things: a button to submit and a text view to show the output. Obviously, because you just have a button to submit, if you don't have a text view to show the output, there's no point in having a calculator app, right? So let's put text view. All right, so we'll do wrap content and wrap content. All right, sorry, let's remove this text view. We need a button. Okay, so button, wrap content and wrap content. So we'll have the text to be calculate. All right, let me check the ID. So I hope by now you know what is layout width, layout height, text ID, and all those fields. So you for every view you need a width, you need a height, and you need a ID. Okay, not every view has text. So for now, okay, just make sure you understand what is width, height, and ID. Okay, so let me just check the ID for this solution. All right, cool. So ID is add ID plus solution. Okay, so if you see here, see this button is here, right? So it looks really bad. So we need it to come to center. So what can we do? So there is this property called layout gravity. So layout gravity, sorry, it is Android layout gravity. What layout gravity does, it just arranges the view according to how we want. So we'll put center horizontal. See, it's centered horizontally. So here we said the layout gravity will be centered horizontal. So it is centered horizontally. If you say layout center vertical, it will be centered vertically. All right. So we have the button. Finally, we need the text view. Text view. The width is wrap content. Height is wrap content. All right. So we'll have the text. Your answer will be displayed. Sorry, here. Okay, and we'll have an ID again. Let us see the ID. It's calculate. Oh, sorry. Sorry. So the ID for the text view is solution. Okay, and change the ID for the button to calculate. I'm really sorry, I saw it wrong. Okay, so even this text is really small and it is to side. Okay, so let's increase the text size. So how to increase the text size? There is a property called text size. Okay, so if you see, it's all readable. Say Android text, what is the text to be displayed? What is the height? What is the width? What is the width of the layout? What is the height of the layout? What is the ID? So it is all easy to know. So right now, don't worry, just keep practicing and you'll get there. Okay, so text size we'll keep it to be 18 SP. All right, don't worry about what this SP, DP, and all is. Okay, I'll teach you that in the next class. So we'll have again a margin 8 dp, and we'll put layout gravity to be center horizontal. Yeah. Now it looks good, right? This layout. See, we have one linear layout. Inside what we have two edit text to enter, and then we have a radio group, and inside which we have four add, subtract, multiply, divide. We have and we have this. Okay. So our layout is done. So with this, at this point, I hope you guys at least have a basic idea of how to make UIs. Don't worry, in the next class also we'll make two more UIs, to really have that sink in. So let's run this. Let me run this. Alright. So let's wait for it to start. Let me open my visor. Oh, where's my visor? Oh, it's minimized here. Alright, so we're just waiting for Android to finish the Gradle script. Let it run. Alright, so you always, for any view, you need to have layout width, layout height, and ID. So our app is opened. So if you see, if you click on this, you realize that you can only input numbers. Okay, this is safety, because what if you input string? You can add two strings, right? You don't know what is s plus t. There's no value. There's nothing like that. Right, so let's put 20. Let's put, I don't know, 15. Let's select add. Click calculate. Answer is 35. 20 plus 15, 35. Right? Let's select multiply, calculate. 300. Let's select divide, calculate. 1.334. Now see, I've added a special feature. So let's put 0. So what is 20 divided by 0? You can't do it, right? So see, you have this thing here. See, you click it again, you'll see number 2 cannot be 0. Try again. So this thing is called a toast. Okay, we'll see that in the next video. Just something I wanted to show you. So let's subtract visor add. Oh my god, this thing is showing add every 10 seconds, man. Right, so calculate, answer is 20. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed. So in the next video, all right. So in the next video, we'll make two more layouts. We'll get the layouts perfectly, and then we'll move on to Java. So thank you guys. Keep practicing and have a nice day.